I'm going to start thinning my beets so I can make more room for the large beets to get larger. So I pick them a little bit small and just use these for pickling. They're not too small. What I do is I go in and I find the largest ones. They grow in clusters, usually of 2 or 3. And I'll go find the larger ones, larger beets of the cluster, and I'll pull those out and give the smaller ones an opportunity to grow bigger because it gives them more space. I know a lot of people thin these when they're babies, but I was just so excited to actually get some to grow this year. So I left them thick because usually the birds get about half of what I grow, or squirrels or whatever eats them. Something eats them every year. Well, this year, in my previous video, you notice there's a net over the top of them. And I kept the birds from getting them. So whatever was getting them did not get them this year. And so I ended up with a lot more beets than I've ever had, which is a wonderful bonus. So I'm going to harvest as many of these small ones as I can, and I'm going to pickle them, throw them in some jars, and have some Harvard beets. So as you can see, it's quite a bit thinner. There's a lot of spaces in between here. And so what I've done, as you can see, I can get in here and show you. I've just taken the biggest ones out and allowed the others to grow. Some of these are still pretty tight in here, and I'll let them grow a little bigger. But there's a bunch of these little babies that are still going to keep growing. And so when I thin them, I'm just giving all these little tiny plants room to grow. And I just push them back down in and get their roots back in contact with the soil and make sure they stay together. Like this one here, you can see he's exposed, and I just push the soil around him and push him down, make sure he stays in there. But there's a lot more airflow now. You can see there's more air in here. You can see to the bottom. Some of these on the edge need a little bit of water because they were getting starved out by the other plants. But now I should be able to water them. They should perk back up, and then we'll go around and do this in a couple weeks. Good morning, guys. The last time I was out here was July 17th, I believe, and I came through and I thinned these to make more airflow, and it's time to do that again. So let's see what I end up with. I'll speed this up for you so you can not be bored with all the thinning, but I will take you back over and see what's left after we're done. So I've thinned quite a bit, and as you can see, there's still some tiny babies in here. I'm going to let them get bigger, cover up all of these little guys with soil, and I'll do the same thing and let them get a little bit bigger. I went through and trimmed some of the leaf miner damage There's a little bit of powdery mildew, but I try to trim that out. It doesn't affect the beet itself, so I just go ahead and leave that. But I did thin out quite a bit, and we probably have maybe 1 or 2 more thinnings, and then we'll be done. I will be planting again for the fall. And here is my lovely harvest. Quite a few. And I'm going to go through all these greens and take all the healthy ones. There are a few healthy ones, and I will use those for beet greens. The rest of them, I'll just toss back into the garden. I'm going to be doing the same thing that I did with the beets for the carrots. I planted them thick, and so I have to thin them. I just can't thin them when they're babies. I just feel like I need to wait until I get some growth, and then I'll go ahead and thin them. So I'll be doing the same thing with this whole patch of carrots that I threw in here. And I'll take you back and show you what I've got. They're not too small. Stay tuned and I'll show you what I get. I wanted to just add real quick that when I planted these beet seeds, these were old seeds from about 4 years ago. So if you have old seeds, the carrots were actually also about 2 years old, very old. They were pelleted seeds. And if you have seeds that say they expire, plant them anyway because you never know if they're going to grow. And most of these all took root and they all grew. So these were about 4-year-old beet seeds, 3 different varieties. And these carrots came from old Bolero pelleted seeds. So they say they have a 1-year shelf life, but they actually worked just fine. So never discount the date on the packet. Plant them anyway and just to see. All right, that's all. I just wanted to let you know.